Okay, we'd like to continue on with some more of our training. Today we're going to talk about mosquito biology. So I'll go ahead and share the screen with you, and we'll work our way through this. It's very important to understand the basic biology of the mosquito so that you can work well in your treatment. Without this understanding and knowledge, it becomes more difficult for you to be effective in treating for mosquitoes in the rural areas that we live. So, first of all, let's talk about the mosquito's life cycle. Life cycle of mosquitoes follows a pattern of what we refer to as complete metamorphosis, which begins with an egg and then larva, which then moves to a pupa, which then will emerge as an adult. Understanding this life cycle is critical in what we refer to as integrated mosquito management, because the process is there. Somehow we want to break this life cycle. Talk first about the mosquito eggs. Mosquitoes can lay eggs in groups called rafts or separately, just depending upon the species. A single female mosquito can lay 50 to 300 eggs per oval position, which is each time they lay an egg. You can see there, it's a Culex pipian laying an egg raft that's located there. The 80s, you would probably find more in the cluster of eggs, or not cluster, but eggs floating on the top of the water. They can lay eggs up to 3 times before they die. So we're talking close to 1,000 mosquitoes or eggs can be laid from a single mosquito. Here is then some mosquito larvae. You can watch them swim. These are referred to commonly called wigglers. It is the aquatic stage of their life. And this is what they would look like in a dipper. This would be probably 500 or 600 per mosquitoes per dip, which is a number you need to be able to record. And again, it's an estimation. They live in the water from anywhere between 4 and 14 days, depending upon things, especially about the water temperature. The warmer it is, the faster they will come off. So when we get into our hot summer days, these mosquitoes are usually going from an egg to an adult in about 72 hours, some of them at least. They constantly feed on algae, plankton, fungus, bacteria, and other microorganisms that are there in the water. The larvae actually breathe in the water through a siphon that is through the surface of the water through a tube called a siphon. And you can see that picture of the siphon sticking up there at the top. Okay. As they grow, they'll molt or shed its skin. The stages between molting is called an instar. So you have first instar, and so let's look at those. Mosquitoes go through these 4 instar before they become a pupa. Based on their size and maturity, you can begin to see them. You'll need to be able to determine what instar that they are as you look at the dippers and see them. So first instar, very, very small. Sometimes that's even too big for a first instar, the picture that we've shown you there. But they're extremely small, very clear, sometimes very difficult to see in a natural habitat. But sometimes you can get them in the dipper, they'll jump right out at you. Second instar is just a little bit bigger. You can see they're associated right next to it. And then a third instar, larger still. And then your fourth instars are the biggest of all, as we look at those. So part of what you'll do is you will collect what you'll tell us whether it's first or second or third or fourth instar as you fill out your reports. The pupa then is there at the bottom. It looks like a little tumbler. That would be then the final one that you would be putting in as a choice. This is an example of what is a mosquito larva and what is a midge-fly larva. They live in similar habitat. You'll find them in similar places, but they look very different as you look closely. They may move a little bit the same way, The midge-fly larva moves more like a worm, where the mosquito larva has more of that wiggling motion back and forth. And obviously the midge-fly larva doesn't have the siphon that you see so prevalent in the mosquito larva. Okay. Here is a pupa swimming. You see it there. These are commonly called tumblers. Okay. And they live in the water from 1 to 4 days, depending upon the species and also upon the temperature. So that's just bouncing around. Again, how they get their name is tumblers. So they float on the surface. They do not feed at all. They just are there going through that metamorphic change and then from the larva stage to the adult stage. Okay. They take oxygen in through these two breathing tubes called trumpets that are on the top. They do not eat, and they're just completing, again, like I said, the metamorphic cycle. So they become a little more difficult to treat as we deal with them, because we're treating the larvae usually from something that they're going to ingest. We treat the pupa by just plugging up the breathing holes and making it hard for them to stay on the surface. This next slide is going to show you a mosquito emerging. There she goes. So looking here at the adult mosquito, I've placed two different examples. The question is, which one is a mosquito? Because one is a mosquito and one is a midge fly. Hopefully you can tell whether it's A or B. Obviously A is the mosquito because of the proboscis, the needle-like structure that's coming out of its head, where the midge fly doesn't have one. This is a common mistake for the layperson, for people around. They will come and talk to you about how the mosquitoes are all over the doors and windows, and they just swarm all around, and mosquitoes don't cling to windows or doors or sit in car vehicles. Those are the midge flies. And especially down by the lake, you're going to find lots of those. Mosquitoes don't behave in the same way. And they also, midge flies will be out in the day, the mosquitoes will not, unless they're disturbed. So, but if you go in to serve a bunch of midge flies sitting in a Russian olive tree or other places, sometimes you'll feel like you're being attacked or swarmed by them, but it's just a midge fly. Here's some of the things. They have three body parts: the head, thoracic, and abdomen. The head has eye parts of long antennas, the proboscis, and then some sensory polyps that allows them to determine the world they live in. The thoracic has 3 pairs of legs and a pair of wings attached to it. And then the abdomen is the site for food digestion and the eggs development, and it is segmented. So just the basic parts. So So looking at these two pictures, which one is the midge-fly? What does the midge-fly lack? And I think we've already discussed that. That is the proboscis. Okay. These are the mosquitoes that we find in Utah County. The ones that are asterisk are not common. The ones that we deal with are the ones that don't have an asterisk with them. Let me give you some facts about the adults in general. Males live up to about 2 weeks. Females live up to about 4 weeks. When mosquitoes are active, most of their activities in the evening, at dusk, and a few hours after. Some, very few, are active in the morning, probably less than 5% of what we catch. And some species are day biters, which we don't have many of them in Utah County. Depending upon the species mosquitoes, they can fly about 150 feet or up to 3 to 4 miles, depending upon, again, the species. All mosquitoes feed on nectar from plants. Only female mosquitoes get the blood meals to lay their eggs. In Utah, culex and anopheles carry diseases. Breeding preferences, they floodwaters or single brood, for the most part. Permanent water, multiple broods, which means that the mosquito will lay her eggs more than one time in a multiple brood, whereas in a single brood, she'll mate, lay her eggs, and then die. She's done. Okay. Talk a little bit about mosquito habitat. These are places we can find mosquitoes: in tree holes, in fields, in ditches, in seepages, in lake edges, in ponds, in watering troughs, gutters and catch basins, buckets, old tires, yard debris, old pools and water features in yards that have been left unattended. Okay, all of those places then are habitats for mosquitoes and where they can be found. All right, we'll stop there with this section. A couple of things that I would invite you to respond to. Again, sending me an email telling me you've completed this section, and in that email, if you would please include the following information. Would you tell me the life cycle of a mosquito, and then just quickly the 4 stages that they go through, and then would you give me an example of a habitat where they may live? Thank you.